Chapter 5. Personal Reflections and Late-Life Confessions. In the twilight of his life, Bertrand Russell offered a series of introspections and confessions that reveal the deep and sometimes conflicting emotions tied to his spiritual and philosophical convictions. His intellectual embrace of Buddhist philosophy, characterized by its rationality and ethical focus, stood in stark contrast to his lingering emotional ties to Christian figures, a dichotomy that underscores the complex interplay between cultural conditioning and personal belief. Emotional connections to Christian figures. Despite his rigorous intellectual dismissal of Christian theology, Russell confessed to an emotional affinity for the figures of Christian lore, particularly Jesus Christ. In his own words, a reflection made poignant during a discussion noted by Osho, Russell admitted, "My reason says that Gautam Buddha is certainly the greatest figure in the whole of human history. But although I am not part of any Christian congregation, although I have completely disassociated myself from Christian mythology, religion, theology, somewhere I cannot put Buddha above Christ. With my reason I understand, but as far as my feelings are concerned, Jesus remains higher, and I know he is not." This confession highlights the deep-seated struggle many face when confronting their ingrained beliefs. Russell's acknowledgement of Jesus' emotional supremacy over Buddha, despite his intellectual preference for Buddhist philosophy, illustrates the profound impact of cultural and childhood indoctrination. From a young age, Russell, like many in the West, was steeped in Christian imagery and ideals, which evidently left an indelible mark on his emotional landscape. Overcoming cultural and personal conditioning. Russell's journey illuminates the challenges inherent in truly understanding and appreciating religious philosophies outside one's cultural or personal norms. His late-life reflections suggest a man caught between his intellectual rigor and the remnants of his cultural heritage, a heritage that imbued him with a subconscious preference for Christian symbols and figures. The philosopher's struggle with this dichotomy provides a valuable lesson on the difficulties of transcending cultural and personal biases. As Osho pointed out, Russell's situation exemplifies the immensely difficult nature of the return journey, the path of unlearning deeply ingrained beliefs. It highlights how intellectual acceptance and emotional acceptance can diverge, particularly when it comes to deeply personal matters such as spirituality and religion. Russell's confessions also underscore the broader philosophical and psychological challenges of confronting and potentially overcoming one's conditioning. He demonstrated through his own experience that intellectual discourse alone might not be enough to shift emotional allegiances formed in early life. This speaks to the need for a holistic approach to understanding religious and philosophical ideas, one that considers both the rational arguments and the emotional resonances they may hold. The path toward genuine understanding. To genuinely appreciate and integrate the tenets of a religious or philosophical system different from one's own, it is crucial to engage in what Russell termed patient and unprejudiced inquiry. This involves not only a thorough examination of the new system's doctrines, but also a deep introspection into why one holds their existing beliefs. Russell's life exemplifies a continuous quest for truth, driven by a desire to understand the universe and humanity's place within it, without resorting to supernatural explanations. The philosopher's late reflections and his struggle with the emotional residues of his early Christian indoctrination highlight the essential human journey towards deeper understanding and personal growth. They remind us that the path to changing deeply held beliefs is not solely one of intellectual engagement, but also of emotional reconciliation and transformation. In conclusion, Bertrand Russell's personal reflections and late-life confessions provide a poignant insight into the life of a man who tirelessly pursued knowledge and truth, yet acknowledged the enduring influence of his early religious conditioning. His journey invites us to reflect on our own beliefs, the origins of these beliefs, and the complex interplay between reason and emotion in shaping our understanding of the world. Chapter 6. Late-Life Religious Thoughts and Legacy of Bertrand Russell. As Bertrand Russell aged, his perspectives on religion continued to evolve, revealing a nuanced understanding that embraced both his staunch skepticism and a surprising personal sentimentality towards religious figures, notably Jesus Christ. This duality highlights the complexity of Russell's views towards the end of his life, where intellectual dismissal of religious dogma coexisted with an emotional appreciation for certain religious characters. Personal reconciliations with religious sentiments. In his later years, Russell's writings and interviews often reflected a deep introspection on his views of religion. While he remained a firm agnostic, he expressed a nuanced perspective on Jesus Christ, not as a divine figure, but as a historical one whose moral teachings he found compelling. Russell famously noted in a late interview, "I have come to think that Christ was the best and wisest of men, though I do not accept his divinity." This statement signifies a shift from his earlier, more critical views on religious figures, suggesting a personal reconciliation with the moral and ethical teachings of Christianity, independent of its supernatural aspects. This late-life acceptance did not denote a conversion, but rather an acknowledgement of the moral values embedded within some religious teachings, which he saw as universally applicable and beneficial. Russell's ability to separate moral teachings from theological dogma illustrates his intellectual flexibility and his ongoing commitment to moral philosophy. Impact on modern thought and philosophical legacy. Russell's influence on modern philosophy and religious thought is profound and enduring. His rigorous analysis of religion through the lens of logic and empirical evidence has inspired generations of thinkers to question the foundations of their beliefs and to approach religion with a critical yet open mindset. Russell's legacy is particularly evident in contemporary debates on the role of religion in public life, where his advocacy for secularism and reason continues to resonate. Moreover, Russell's contributions to ethical philosophy and his critique of metaphysics have shaped contemporary views on moral responsibility and the nature of belief. His emphasis on skepticism, humanism, and scientific inquiry has paved the way for a more questioning and less dogmatic approach to understanding human values and the universe. His works, such as Why I Am Not a Christian and Religion and Science, continue to be pivotal readings in philosophy and theology courses around the world, challenging students and scholars alike to consider the implications of religious beliefs on moral and scientific grounds. Russell's philosophical legacy transcends the boundaries of academia. His thoughts on religion and ethics have permeated into broader cultural contexts, influencing public discourse on religion, ethics, and governance. In an era where religious extremism and scientific skepticism often clash, Russell's call for a balanced approach that respects religious sentiments while advocating for rational discourse remains highly relevant. His advocacy for peace, global cooperation, and human rights, underpinned by his philosophical views, has made him a moral and ethical icon in both secular and religious studies. His life's work serves as a bridge between the often divergent worlds of science and religion, advocating for a synthesis of rational thought and ethical consideration. In summary, Bertrand Russell's late-life thoughts on religion reflect a complex interplay of skepticism and a nuanced recognition of religious ethics. His intellectual legacy, marked by a commitment to reason and humanistic values, continues to influence contemporary thought, offering a rich resource for philosophical inquiry and ethical debate. Russell's life and work exemplify the profound impact that thoughtful and critical examination of religion can have on personal beliefs and broader societal values. Chapter 7. Conclusion. Throughout his life, Bertrand Russell's intellectual journey illuminated a profound connection with Buddhist philosophy, which resonated deeply with his ideals of rational inquiry, skepticism, and an ethical framework grounded in humanism rather than divine mandate. His engagement with Buddhism, though not always the central focus of his works, highlighted his appreciation for its practical approach to the perennial questions of suffering, desire, and moral action. Russell found in Buddhism a compelling alignment with his advocacy for a philosophy that values compassion and understanding over dogmatic belief. Russell's critical approach to religion, particularly his analyses of Christianity and his explorations into Buddhist thought, underscore the importance of examining religious beliefs through the lenses of philosophy and science. His works encourage a questioning stance, a willingness to scrutinize beliefs in the light of evidence and logical coherence, which remains a cornerstone of modern secular thought and the scientific approach to understanding human nature and the universe. The legacy that Russell leaves behind is one of intellectual courage and an unwavering commitment to truth, wherever that truth may lead. By advocating for a methodology that combines ethical considerations with empirical scrutiny, Russell has provided a robust framework for future generations to engage with religious philosophies in a manner that is both respectful and rigorously critical. In an era where dialogue between differing worldviews is both increasingly vital and increasingly fraught, Russell's approach offers a blueprint for engaging with religious and philosophical ideas critically and constructively. His life's work serves as a reminder that at the intersection of science and religion, there can be a productive dialogue, one that fosters greater understanding and cooperation in the pursuit of shared human values. In conclusion, Bertrand Russell's exploration of Buddhist and other religious philosophies through philosophical and scientific analysis continues to be a powerful influence on contemporary thought, encouraging a balanced, informed, and thoughtful examination of what we believe and why we believe it. This approach is not only a tribute to Russell's legacy, but also a vital practice for those navigating the complex interrelations of faith, reason, and ethics in the modern world.